Hello and welcome to another 4X game. This is Endless Space, created by Amplitude Studios, and this is version 1046, which we'll be playing today, because I want something good alongside my Move Free Let's Play. And also something to kind of contrast with it. I know it's a bit weird because I'm comparing two games in different eras again, but we shall see. This is not the Empire I'm going to use. I'm going to use a different Empire. We're going to use the Shadow Alliance, and I will quickly show off what that entails and how I've basically gone about building it. We have Compact Fusion Reactors, which are the engine upgrades. I consider that a must-have for Pilgrims. You need as much speed as you can get. Now, actually, because of that, we haven't got fast travellers. So I have 10 points I need to put in somewhere. Yeah, fast travellers and also the early Compact Fusion Reactors means I can get quite a lot of the early star bonuses quite quickly, and also being able to expand quite rapidly. I should be able to take control of the middle area, which is going to be a must if I'm going to complete this Let's Play as Victor. Legendary Heroes, must for Pilgrims. You need the massive acceleration boost to make your world ships. Optimal structure is fairly important, but not as such. Gives us an extra 15% tonnage, so we can put more weapons. More weapons equals more death. Optimistic, yep, plus 20 happiness on each system. You'll find that is key. If you don't have that, it's worth the 25 year build points. So we need to actually put 10 back currently. I did toy around at one stage with putting rich soil on the homeworld, because that'll allow the homeworld to expand quite rapidly. But I tend to not bother with that so much these days. I don't want the industry cost to increase. We don't want anything that reduces our food production. Money's important. I suppose I could go Feeble Warriors full, but I don't like taking the full bonus of that. The only other one I could go is Internal War, which I suppose I'm going to have to take, because Fast Travellers is important for this build. So there we are then. That is the build for the Shadow Alliance, who are eternally at war with the United Empire, I'm sure. In fact, I'm going to make sure there is a United Empire AI just to be weird on this. And also one of them. So there's one of each of the enemy empires to the Shadow Alliance. So we're going to be playing this on hard difficulty. We're going to be playing on normal game speed, huge galaxy, spiral 8 with 8 empires. Galaxy age will be random. In fact, we're going to randomize as much of this as possible. No balance. Star connectivity normal, wormholes average, transport system is going to be random, resources is going to be normal, random. I'm going to make a constellation distance remote, but I don't think that applies because it's a single constellation system, I think. Number of constellations, view, medium galaxy density. Okay. Let us then begin the journey of the Shadow Alliance in this harsh universe. Now, I do like the Pilgrims build, but it does have a few things it's reliant on early. We'll see whether one of those things has come up. I can build if we don't have an agricultural leader. I can make it work. It's just that generally it's always considered a bit of a help if you can get this. So, we have an agriculture... no, actually, we have an agriculture corporate leader and 2 backup agricultural leaders, which in many ways isn't perfect. I prefer to have one dedicated fleet commander, but we'll see how this goes. We're going to hire you, and we're going to give you 2 levels. Now, because this is actually an agricultural science leader, I can actually swap him back around if I need to. But for the first bit, we're going to go that, and we're going to go plus 10 dust. Reason for this is basically to try and get the second hero as fast as possible. So now he produces an extra 10 gold. We start on this jungle world, which gives additional... Apologies for random interruption. Anyway, as I think I was saying before I left off, jungle worlds have additional production compared to Terran worlds. Terran worlds have additional food, and ocean worlds are the sort of all-rounders. Because this has a high level of industry, we can produce things faster on this world, and we're going to go, however, with the food production, because that makes slightly more sense. Especially as we want as much food production as we can get away with here. On to research. Now, having these 2 tech trees already done means we can automatically rush to Casimir effect if we want to. That's not why we did it, strangely, even though that is a good tactic in smaller maps, certainly. We actually did it purely for this. Also, one of the 2 worlds that we can colonize at the start is quite good for the Pilgrims because we want to get onto different planets as fast as possible. So we've got Inway fusion plants. We don't have any, well, there's red sand technically, but we need lava worlds for that, so that's a bit out of the way. Let's go, and before we confirm the tech tree, have a look at this. Now, all the speed boosts have basically meant that our scout ship can move 11 spaces, and we have a lot of blue worlds and 1 yellow sun. Unfortunately, that yellow sun is through a wormhole, so the best, most likely system to have good planets is in the wrong direction. Right, we're going to send our scout ship over there. And we get our first bonus, which is 10% science increase on the Empire. And we have enough movement to get most of the way to there. And desert, ancient ruins, and an asteroid belt. Now, we almost have enough movement to make it to second place, but we want to explore a little more, really. And I don't like sending scout colony ships to star places, just in case. I think I did turn the pirates off, or rather, haven't turned them back on. But I still don't want to risk it. You never know with some of the random events. So, Desert Worlds is what we found. Unfortunately, that's 16 turns away of research topics, so we'll stick with as we are for now. Right, last thing we need to do is sort out... Well, actually, second to last thing we need to do is sort out this. Now, we can get to the optimum bracket, which is ecstatic, at a 30% tax rate, meaning we're getting plus 6 gold a turn, and 14 research a turn. This will do for now, I think. Don't have to worry about too much else. It's not as high as I would like it, and I've had better gold returns, but we didn't get a second planet straight away. If we get the second planet here, then our money issues are basically sorted for the short term until we get the second hero. The last thing we need to do is we need to optimize these ships, because as you can see, the starting ships they give you only have about 70 tonnage. So we might as well upgrade these now. The missionary doesn't need any real weapon upgrades, and I tend not to bother with them. I just give it the induction drive tuners. I could give it weapons. I wouldn't if I was playing the Shadowhawk race that I showed you briefly, because they get a bonus to ships without civilian ships without weapons. So I could add some things on here, but I think all I'll do is I'll add some additional hit points. Maybe. Trying to think about this a little. Yeah, a few hit points. I do take a hit point penalty generally, but I don't know. Maybe I won't. Nah, we'll leave that as is for now. So missionary there, paladin ships, which are our main kinetic attack ships, just basically fill out with loads of stuff. So they're all sorted now. Right, and I believe that is end of turn 1 with everything dealt with. That's taking a while. It's because there's 8 people, and really I've gone a bit mad with this one, trying to compete against 8 people. And yay, we found a colonizable world. We found 2 colonizable worlds, and we found Dustwater. Mutated Flora makes that world +1/+1/+1, and Tiny Tundra is mostly a science world, but the fact that it's got Mutated Flora means it's producing 3262, which is not bad, actually. And that's a dust-ruined Tundra world, which... So this isn't a high production system until we get the desert, but actually that's not a bad system to have. What do we get star bonus anyway? Oh, 1 experience point. Rah. Right, out you go. And Polaris, which has Mutated Flora Arctic World. Not as impressive as the previous one, as you can see it's low on production and gold, but it's still colonizable. And also we found Red Sang and Proto-Orchid, and that's actually the second Red Sang thing we found. But I think we've only got 2 points to it. We need 4 for to get the Monopoly bonus. We'll see what's there next. Meanwhile, away is a mineral-rich Arctic world, so actually that's balanced out one of the major problems of Arctic worlds. We also have an arid world with dust ruins, so that's producing 8 gold population points on that planet. So that is okay. We can live with this. It's not the best, but it has production. So there is our second world. And we want to exploit it for... Actually, what do we want to exploit it for? We could exploit it for science, but... I think considering the problems we're going to have on this system are mostly around food, we're just going to go and try and top that off. It's mineral rich, so we do, of course, produce We can, of course, we do have 3 production points, obviously. That'll have its exploitation next turn. We do not have the N-Way fusion plants just yet, so we're going to go for money conversion until we get those. So now we're currently producing... What's the benefit here? We gain 1 extra... Nah. 11 turns to a population point versus 10 turns for a population point. It's not worth doing that. So we'll just stick with a 20 dust a turn and go end turn. So we're now into turn 3. Once they process all the enemy turns. Okay. So, food... If Old Soils has now been done, and that will start producing money for this turn. Let's move our fleet, and it finds a 10% experience battle for each finished construction, for each... yeah, it's a shame, really, because we actually had you finish your production before that happened. And the only other thing we could build at the moment is a fleet of rent. Now, the main advantage of the Pilgrims is that they can place... Oh, there are some nice systems here. Okay. The main advantage is the world ships. World ships. I keep calling anything named ships chips at the moment, and it's just sticking. Also, 2 dust water. Do we have dust water here as well? So it's 1, 2, 3, 3 dust water. Dust water is quite important actually because it's the experience boosting thing. It also has 2 food and 1 money once it's done anyway. So this system, with mutated flora, is actually producing 5 food and 3 gold. That's actually good enough that it's probably worth going for. We can evacuate the system in 8 turns. It's worth waiting a turn, getting that finished first, because that'll give wherever it goes, it'll have a production boost. Now the world ships basically pick up every building that's been on the world, plus every population point, bar 1, and travels to a new system. And it can dump it onto any other planet, and it would go here, most likely, which will give it a lot of food production, dust water once that's researched, but also if there's population over the 4, it will actually spill over to the other systems that are colonizable if they exist, so you never waste population points doing this. We do want that dust water, and we found titanium on the 2nd system here. So titanium on the titanium dust ruins means it's got an extra point of production once it's farmed, so excellent. Right, so N-Way fusion is now finished. Let's continue movement. We found the Andromeda system and get 20 additional science. For science! And we have explored our section of the galaxy, so we cannot advance any further without the Casimir effect. Okay. Still, the Andromeda system has strange fossils and is medium Arctic. No production, but very good science world. So, here we go then. We're going to begin the evacuation of the system. So once that's built, it will build that. The hope is that we can get you leveled up as well. Right. The way system is still upgrading quite slowly as we would expect it to, but it will go like that as well. That's probably going to be the only time we use a colony ship if we're doing this properly, because really you should not be using colony ships with this race if you can help it. With a plus 20 science boost we can get any of these done, and I think in order that, and that need to be done next. Once those 3 are done, I think we can get away with maybe that as well, actually. Because that improves our industrial exploitations. But we're going to Casimir effect 4. We need to get out of this area as fast as we can do it. End turn. So 17 turns, plus any bonuses for getting additional population and things. We will have the Casimir effect. Alright, so soil xenobiology is now done. Which means we now have alien grafting here as well, so that increases its by 3 food technically because of various effects. And means that this is automatically upgraded itself. Now we can buy it, and it... Oh, damn it. 2 moments. And hopefully we're done with the interruptions for now. So, yes, it means this is automatically upgraded to alien grafting from what it was originally producing. We can also go and put Sustainable Star System on this world because Arctic and Arid will both gain an additional food per population point for building that. So it is kind of vital, but it can go after the refineries, which is somewhat more vital. This planet system obviously can't build it because it has none of the worlds which are appropriate type for it. Let's see, what else are we doing? We're ending turn 5, I think. So Xenology will be done in 2 turns, and that will get us our Dust Water activation, though we don't have anything on it at the moment. Ying has it graded to size 4. So that gives us a little more production. That means that'll be accelerated out. That'll be further accelerated out. It's now 10 turns away. And how close are we from being able to... Population boost in 1. Trying to just try and creep ourselves a little quicker. That doesn't affect the time to build the refinery, so we'll have 1 turn of that, then 2 turns at the +10. And that should hopefully... get us our second hero set up, because we're going to need it. We're also probably going to need a second scout ship, but we'll get there in a moment. Because we need to explore this area on the other side of this wormhole fast. Right, so now Red Sang, Dustwater, Hydromeal, and Blue Cat Mold have now all been identified. Next thing we're going to be building is the isolation shields. We're not going to worry about building these just yet, but they produce an extra gold per population on the planet, on those types, and basically this makes the world slightly better off. Well, in fact, it makes the system slightly better off because it's a system upgrade. So that would produce 4 gold per population point per turn, but costs us 2. So it's profit. Not very much profit, but profit nonetheless. Next, we need to go and swap that back down, making sure we're still getting our +10. So we're in 2 turns away from being able to buy hero number 2. Right. This now has nothing to do, so it's just going to wait. End turn. And as you saw there, this has now been finished. So now the Ying system should have a bit of a production boost. Also, because something was built, and we have a bonus that says so, you gain 10 experience, which was enough to push you up to the next level. Now, if this was just a corporation leader, I'd start going into the sciences a little more here and staying with the wits boost, but because you're not, we're going to give you a labor boost. So this now means the leader provides 18% bonus to all stats, as well as the +10 gold overall. And next level, we'll get the big thing which will set up Ying as the mass producer of world chips. So as you can see, 4 turns until that's built. I'll put the dust production on afterwards, because it needs to be doing something to not waste all those points. If we were the automatons, we'd actually let it happen, and that would give us additional production for the next few turns, depending on how far over we'd gone. A little weird, but that's how their one works. So Wei has now finished building its alien grafting. Ying's now up to a size 5 planet, well, 5 population points, which will make it even faster. I mean, we're actually throwing around a size 4 world ship. So we have 4 population points we can fill up, and I think the way we're going to go, we're probably going to go towards this one for the mass gold upgrades. We could go for the huge jungle, which is technically a better idea, but I'm trying to think about this. No, we do want to go that way. Polaris has the mutated flora Arctic world. You do have some nice stuff as well, though. But having the second major production system, and this would be a major production system with the 2 of these there, is probably the best idea for now. So 2 turns until that's done. Wei has 13 turns away from being able to build the heavy isotope refinery. And, oh darn it, we went to +9. Whoops, I also have to do it next turn. But it is fine. Right, there we are. So now we shall hire a second hero, and our options are between you and you. Now, you have fence, defense, and a bit more of a fleet commander than you. You're more of a defensive leader, so I'm gonna pick this guy. We're gonna hire you. Now you go straight to level 3, so where we go here is that. And I would normally take the +20 food, and in fact I might still do that, because thinking about this, I can now do something else. So if we go and change you to you, and then we put you on there. Now each person has to be on whatever their assignment for at least 5 turns before they can move. So what that's done is, that's now made this system produce a lot of food. We're now producing 30 food per population point, and that's totaling out at 68 surplus food. That means we are producing a bucket load of population out of this system now, and means that this place is now just about ready. So, let's go with that. This system obviously is a little harder to judge on this regard. It does have 2 now, so we can build the Xeno tourism, but we'll put that towards the bottom. But it now has a 20% roughly production boost in all stats, and additional 10 gold still applies. So, we're now producing +3 a turn, because of, obviously, upkeep of a second hero, and also... yeah, there's no real benefit change to the way system for doing that. So that's fine. Let's go with that. Also note, our Chasm effect is currently at 9 turns away. And the world ship has been built. So this is where the Pilgrims are now going to start taking off. Now we can create a fleet of rent ship, which is our world ship. It carries all the things that we had previously built on the planet, except for obviously the planetary enhancements themselves. And we can now go somewhere else. And I'm going to actually go, rather than my original plan, we're going to send the fleet of rent ship over to there. Now, the downside of the fleet of rent ships is that they can never be upgraded. They never have weapons, and this means they can get killed if you are a bit silly with them. Now, the Ing system was producing money, but it doesn't need to anymore. We need it producing each of those things, and then another colony ship. Now, it seems as if that's going to take us quite a while, but remember, we're now producing a bucket load of population from this system. So, that's going to go up to 6 people almost instantly, and then we send out another ship. I think that might actually be a size 5 ship. It's a bit awkward to tell. It does mean we're probably going to populate both of the systems, which is why I've decided to go there. Enter. Chasm effect in 11 turns, because obviously we no longer have the science boost from Ying. But we now have this one, and let's think about this a little more. So that's got the higher production value, higher science value, higher food value, but lower gold value. So we'll colonize that first, and as you can see, it's split them off. So we now have 3 people on there and 1 on there. First thing we want to do is go and sort out the exploitations. So, knowing that the planet is low on production and gold, we should really be focusing on that. We're going to go production there, and we're going to go production here. Once that's done, we're going to go for those enhancements. Actually, this system produces really fast because of titanium on that world. Actually, why is that the same? It's producing 9, the planet, from the 3 population points. So that's 1 and 1 and... I don't know, why is that producing 9? Oh well, not to worry, that might be system per on planet, I don't know. Oh well, I'm slightly confused by that, but not exactly so. And this is the advantage of the Pilgrims. I now have a fully set up secondary world. And also this first world, which I kind of abandoned, is already very nearly back up to where it's supposed to be. So, in turn. And once that's actually done building things, it's actually going to build my scout ships. And my warships, because actually this is a nice system for doing that on. Plus the industrial bonuses on there as well, which at higher levels I believe do stack with Tundra worlds. Means all that is going to be good. Ying up to 5, it's already ready for another world ship. And this is what you kind of have to do as the Pilgrims. You have to set up world ships and then go and actually find the nice worlds and take them. But also, the fact is you can take them with a world which is actually fully set up to begin here. I mean, other than obviously the planetary upgrades, I could just start building ships out of this. And in fact, yeah, we're going to... Not a missionary, we're going to build 2 truth seekers out of it. We've got a truth seeker there, because we want one early once we got the Casimir effect done. And the second one towards the back. We need more ships. Always need more ships. And I think actually we're about at the point where I should probably end the video. So there's a production boost. 2. Yep, they're both done. The other advantage, of course, of doing that is the hero that you set here is going to level up very rapidly, because obviously he's building quite a lot of things. In fact, he should be, yeah, he's about 29 experience points at the moment. And more things on the way. Speaking of way, actually, that'll be done next turn. That'll help. That's 2 away from a population increase. How are we doing on the monetary front? I think that's just about worth the point. Just about. So we're going to stick with that. Right, so this is Endless Space. And until next time then.